Incident handling. Let's see what we will cover in this module. We have to take a look on exploring the incident paradigm, classification and their meaning, incident type and their functionality, controlling incident, a brief overview of incident response, structural design of incident response, incident handling and computer security incident response team, which is called CSIRT. Let's start with incident. Any real or suspected undesirable occurrence of the context of computer system security or computer network protection can be defined as an incident. An incident is an occurrence of the menace and tampers of security of the computing system and its associated network. Adverse occurrence of incident include natural disasters and electric failure. Incident can be classified into four broad categories. They are unauthorized invasion into an IT setup, any occurrence that compromise or corrupt information, any act of international or intentional or accidental inflation of viruses in a network, any act of intentional or accidental disruption of service or damage or loss of equipment. Let's check the type of incidents which are common nowadays. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability related incidents. These are reconnaissance attack, repudiation, harassment, extortion, pornography trafficking, and organized crime activity. In case you encounter an incident, your immediate resort is incident reporting, where you brief the concerned person in your company about the breach of security. You may report the incident to any one of the following. One is CSIRT representative, law enforcement, or other site involved in the incident. What are the steps to ensure incident handling? You have to formulate and establish universal measures that should be taken immediately after an incident detection. Organize unit functioning in a way that it is able to respond to incident and inform all concerned parties about the detection of the incident and the progress made by tackling it. Gather and define as much information that may be linked to the incident and take the immediate measure that may contain the incident for the time being and restore systems to normal operations. Classify, categorize, and execute security lessons which you have learned to ensure the incident. How to control the incident? This indicates the master approach to manage an incident. This includes policy framework for post-occurrence response entailing preventions and protection of human life and business data. Critical process involved for managing the incident are as follows. Incident management effort should be maintained over a consistent period of time in case of large incidents. Prepare and maintain tracking charts to facilitate management of multiple incidents. Create and maintain incident database to draw from previous experience and sets priorities of incidents. Develop and assign security model as per the requirement. Let's take a brief overview of incident response. Incident response pertains to the immediate measures that are to be taken in case of incident occurrence. Actions may be initiated by either a manual or computerized system. Incident response is the direct responsibility of the technical personnel in any organization, and it needs extra thinking and critical analysis where knowledge applications may not be enough to do the job. Let's take a look for the preparation needed for incident response. First stage of incident response process is setting up defenses and control, and then creating procedures for the incident response and obtaining resources for the use. An important step is to establish an infrastructure to support incident response. So these are some basic steps needed for incident response. Now the question that arises in mind is how to detect the incident and what measures are to be taken if an incident is detected. We have to evaluate the scope of the incident and after proper evaluation report the incident to the concerned person. We have to establish detection software so that we have sufficient information about the incident and after analysis we can come to a conclusion. But some type of incidents do not require detection software since the symbols or the symptoms are obvious like failed login attempts, system crashes and social engineering attack. These incidents can be easily identified by seeing the logs. Third stage of incident response process is containment, which means control. In this stage, we try to restrict the degree of probable attack and try to minimize the loss. These control procedures are implemented to curtail the damage or disruption. One of the easiest way to do that is to disconnect it from the network and disable or delete login accounts that have been compromised. After consulting your security team, you can also strike back to the attacker's system to gain information about it. Disable the service like file transfer service and increase incident monitoring level. These are some of the basic steps which are essential to control the incident. The fourth stage of incident response process is eradication. This stage, eradication, the root cause of the incident. If a system has been infected by a malicious executable file, then certain eradication process or the procedures are to be followed which are issued by the concerned department or agency. Eradication is a Unix system, Linux system, Windows NT system and Windows 2000 systems are to be generally performed as per the type of platform they are using. Fifth stage of incident response process is recovery. Make the restoration point and recover the system for safety. Also set network devices back to the normal. The point to be noted here is that recovery measures and procedures may vary as per the operation system, but in general, the recovery method to be followed are execute full system restore from known media, employ fault tolerant system and hardware such as RAID, and remove short-term containment actions if applied before. The last and final stage of incident handling process is follow-up. Follow-up is important in providing a foundation for team building. It is also important to construct and collate information that may be useful in legal proceeding. Follow-up enhance the skill of the team and provide comprehensive learning of the incident. To deal with the incident, we need to properly train team called incident response team. It can be defined as a group of people who have the capability or the capacity to deal with the potential or actual information security incident. Incident response team may reduce the net cost of dealing with the security related issue or incident. The organization may also choose to utilize in-house capability to handle and respond to any incident. This ensures capability of the response team in handling the incident in accordance with the policy and political need of the organization. Functional requirement. Incident response team has a control over an incident, computing and data resources. It provides a direct incident response support but limits to a purely advisory role means it provides indirect rather than direct support in the form of advice. Some additional functional requirements are interagency coordination, contingency planning, and business continuity services. Information security tool development and incident response planning and analysis are required to give better functionality. What are the ways of communication used by a response team? The requirement of any effective response team is formulation of channel of communication that may facilitate timely information exchange within a desired work group. Following are the way by which the response team can communicate, for example, telephone, email, fax, notices, website, conferences, media interviews, and videotapes. Proper communication is very important because planning and formulation depend upon correct information, and in 21st century, we have the fastest way of communication. A proper team required to for the process or the response, and the team should be well educated. Skill set required in the response team are managerial skills, technical expertise, people skills, teamwork skills, and communicational skills. These skills are mandatory because teams should be aware of all the fundamentals and technical knowledge so that they can take right decision at the right time. The efficacy of the incident response process relies completely on the way various banners are tackled and the ability to fill gaps as needed. They may include any or the combination of the following obstacles: budget, management reluctance, organizational resistance, politics, user awareness, external coordination, and law enforcement and media. What is Computer Security Incident Response Team, which is also called CSIRT? So, CSIRT is a service organization that is responsible for receiving, reviewing, and responding to a computer security incident reports and activity. The purpose of the CSIRT team is to prepare organizational model, incident analysis, incident response, and incident reporting. One more job role of CSIRT team is to handle internal distributed CSIRT. It also handle internal or centralized CSIRT and internal combined distributed and centralized CSIRT. It will also coordinate with the CIRTS. Services given by the CSIRT team are: service provided by the CSIRT determine the resources, skill sets, and partnership of the team. Selected service needed to support and enable the business goal of the CSIRT's constituency. CSIRT services categorize the reactive and proactive services. It has one more category, that is security quality management service. What are the flaws in common software? Software flaws in fundamental language of internet. They have left the information as basic infrastructure in danger of disruption. As previously reported, the Computer Emergency Response Team Coordination Center, a major cleanhouse for security related information on the internet, issued an authority or advisory and urged system administrator and network engineer to test any device that is centrally managed using simple network management protocol. SNMP is a popular digital language for communicating with router, switch, and other network device. Hence, once the flaw is identified, then it should be easy to make a patch and prevent the system from being compromised. So it is important in the incident handling module. That's all for the incident handling now. Now we have to take a look on the computer forensic. Let's start with computer forensic. So how you will define the term computer forensic? The discipline that combines element of law and computer science to collect and analyze data seized from the computer system, networks, wireless communication, and storage devices in a way that it is admissible as evidence in a court is called computer forensic. What are the key rules for forensic? Key rules of computer forensic are: never work on original evidence, never mishandle the evidence, use proper utilities, never trust the subject operating system, means accused operating system. Document everything, every steps and procedure you are going to perform in forensic. What is the procedure used in computer forensic? The first is identification of evidence, and then seizure or acquisition, also called imaging, and authentication of the evidence. Preservation of evidence so as to reduce the physical damage. Analysis of the compiled evidence from the source and the documentation of actions and finding all the stages. Report preparation and providing testimony in the court of law. Let's start with the first step, that is identification of evidence. As a forensic expert, you have to identify the evidence in a crime scene. Evidence can be any object, physical or virtual, which involved in computer crime. It can be a memory device, IP address, physical address of a machine. It can be any event log, machine log, pen drive log, or registry log. So when you are going to seize a machine in a crime scene, remember what to do and what not to do. What should be done when you are going to seize a machine from a crime scene? Note and photograph equipment setup and connection of the crime scene. Allow printing to finish from the printer. Record what is on the computer screen by using screen recorder. Record telephone number if modem is connected. Seize other media and backups if present. Store in cool dry atmosphere. Bag and seal to be kept and going to seize a computer. Means whenever you're going to seize a computer, you have to take a bag and sealing devices so that to keep it, to kept it when you're going to seize a computer. What should not be done when you are going to seize a machine from a crime scene? Never place media near mobile phones and electrical resources. Don't start investigating if you don't know about the case. Don't start closing the program and shutting down the machine. Don't allow suspect to alter the state of a machine. And don't move computer whilst power on. Let's see how to do acquisition. Acquisition is the process of copying every single bit of a media, including free space, slack space, and system space. The process is also known as imaging. Acquisition is done so that the original evidence is protected from being tampered and evidence can be collected or recovered by forensic procedure. Utility used for acquisition, that is EnCase and CANE. How to preserve the evidence? The original evidence is sealed in a proper seizing bag and kept in a cool and dry condition. All the seized device should be kept away from the electric and magnetic field. Mark the seized device with a serial number so that proper record is maintained. After acquisition and imaging, we have to analyze the data for the evidence. Let's see the essential steps involved. As per the case, analysis of the image is completed. Examiner has to be clear in his or her mind about the case history and the file and the document being searched in the image. Registry analysis of the image is proceed in order to find out the malware or any malicious tool present in the evidence image. Analysis is done in order to find out which deleted file has to be recovered in the recovery process. We have to follow the documentation work simultaneously with the forensic procedure. So what is documentation? Documentation is the process where examiner has to record every step conducted on evidence in writing. Note that here evidence is in image disk. Documentation is one of the important steps in forensic so that every examiner has transparency of the case in progress and it is easy to explain the evidence in court. As per the requirement and need, file recovery has to be done. So in order to explain file recovery, we can say that it is the process of recovering the deleted file, if any, from the image, which is identified in identification of evidence step called the file recovery process. We have various forensic tools to recover deleted file. Example, Recuva, iCare and Forensic Toolkit. Screen capture is one of the important and mandatory steps in computer forensic. We record the screen of the accused, which clearly shows the process running on that machine, open application if any, date and time of the machine, internet connectivity, etc. Also take the photograph of the device connected to the accused machine, network connectivity and tag it with the evidence tag. We know that to access any mail, the user uses browser and we can recover the mail password from browser cookies if present. If the browser cookies are deleted, then it is difficult to recover the mail password. Tools used to recover the password is Passware Kit Enterprise and MailPass Viewer. As we know, the browser is the interface used to access the internet and to open email portals. We can recover the sites visited by the user and keep the history recorded, which is sometimes useful in forensic. We have to track index.dat file in the machine which contain browser data. Tool used to view browser history are History Viewer and Web Historian. Chain of custody refer to documentation that identify all changes in the control, handling, ownership, or custody of a piece of evidence. You should be able to trace the route that evidence takes from the moment you collect it till the time it is presented in the court. Let's see the overview of memory forensic. Random access memory is a form of temporary data storage. RAM contains volatile memory, means it can easily be flushed and is not used for long-term storage. Any actively used information or data by a computer program or hardware device will run through the system RAM at the time it is being used. This is what makes RAM so important when conducting computer forensic. By using RAM volatility tool, we can make RAM dump of the live machine and use that dump for investigation. In RAM analysis, we can find out running application and we can analyze the state and services running on that machine. That's all about the computer forensic. Let's see the demonstration.
In here, I shall try to demonstrate how we can find out the internet history of the user and also the saved credentials which the particular user has saved in the browser. So for this, we will use tools such as Browsing History View and Web Browser Pass View. So double click on the application and you can see the list of the browsers that it supports. Press on OK, and you will be able to see the URLs along with the date and time. Just click on any one of these and you will be able to see the exact URL along with the title of the page and the visit time also, and how many times it was visited, and the redirected URL along with the web browser and the user profile. So apart from this, we have web browser pass view also. Double click on this and you can see the username and password which are saved in the web browsers. So for this particular entry, I can see that Chrome has these two username and password credentials saved. In this tutorial, we shall be seeing how we can recover data which has been deleted from any drive or disk. Now, all of us are intimately familiar with the situation when we delete our data accidentally. So now, let's just suppose we have deleted some data from the recycle bin which we needed. So we shall be using a tool which is named as Recuva to recover the data which has been deleted from the recycle bin. Now, following the steps which have been given here, click on next and you can select the type of file which you want to recover. If you want to recover only videos, you can click on video and click on next. You can select the appropriate option over here. For example, I want to select the files which have deleted from the recycle bin. So clicking here, clicking on next and press start. So here we can see that the data recovery process is progressing. So as we can see here that we don't have any video files to recover. So let's suppose if I varied my scan a little bit, opening up Recuva again, clicking here, clicking on all files so that we get a wide variety of data, clicking on next, and if you select recycle bin, you can click on next and you can click on start. So it will repeat the same process, but here it will try to scan for all the files which have been deleted rather than just focusing itself on video files. Here you can see that there are a lot of files which have been deleted from the recycle bin. So, for example, if I want to recover this particular file, just click on it, right click on next, select recover checked, and here you have to select the folder or the directory where you want to save the file. Clicking on desktop, this will help me save the file on my desktop. Click on OK and press yes when this dialog box comes. Now this recovery process is underway. Now as you can see here, the operation is set to be completed. So if you minimize this window, you can see here that Recuva has recovered this particular file. Right clicking on properties, you can see the file size over here. So in this way you can recover your lost documents such as Microsoft Word documents or your PowerPoint presentations or any other type of file which you want. So that will be all for the data recovery tutorial.
In this particular demonstration, we shall be seeing a software known as NetWitness Investigator. NetWitness Investigator is basically a security incident and event management software which can be used to analyze packets which have been captured in a dump file. And it is basically a part of computer forensics and network forensics course in this particular demonstration. So for installing NetWitness Investigator, you first have to be registered at the NetWitness Investigator website. Along with various other log analysis tools, it is used in conjunction in order to provide a complete passive monitoring scheme. Now, moving on with the software, double click on this icon to open up the panel for NetWitness Investigator. Now on the left hand side, we can see here that there is something called as a demo collection. So the first software's purpose would be to create a collection which would incorporate the basics of a particular investigation. So, going to collection, you can see here, you can go to new local collection and give a collection name, and you can specify the path for that particular collection and just click on auto connect, and you can see here that the collection is ready. Now what you have to do is you have to import the capture file into this particular collection. Go to import packets and select this capture file which has been captured by Wireshark. Click on open and you can see that the import is in progress. Then right clicking on the collection, you can navigate the entire collection in order to see what packets have been captured, and here you can see the details of all the packets which have been captured and summarized into one single panel. It offers a variety of information such as various geographical locations, the type of protocol, various IP addresses, DNS resolution. As name, you can see here various other details such as MAC address and IP addresses have been provided. So it is basically used to summarize and make easy the log analysis and packet analysis process. Here you can extract whatever content has passed through this particular network which has been included in this capture file by this process. So click on OK over here. You can see at the bottom that the session files have been extracted. So while I have saved this particular files in my desktop, these are the various files which pass through the network at the time of capturing this particular packets. These are various HTML files and scripts which pass through this particular time period. You can open up any one of these files and see what's inside them. It shows the code for the like page. And these are the various scripts which were retrieved by the web browser at that time. Apart from that, it captures various images also, and these are the raw data which was captured, and some text files and configuration files. This is the configuration file for Komodo Dragon browser update. So in this way, you can find out various other files and whatever packets transferred, which data. These are the certificate revocation lists which pass through the network during that time. So NetWitness Investigator is a very powerful tool which can be used for log analysis as well as passive network monitoring.